Boatworks today is sponsored by Total Boat and Alexial Yacht Coatings, as well as supported by the generosity from the beautiful folks over on Patreon. Thank you so much.
So welcome back to the project, everybody. Now, the goal for this week is going to be to get some type of flooring in on that little sailboat right there. Because last week I took a little bit of a spill. God damn. I gotta get a fucking floor in this thing. I'm gonna kill myself. And let's just say I wasn't very happy about that one. And that certainly wasn't the first time, and I'm sure it's not gonna be the last. But nonetheless, I'm getting some flooring in here. Certainly not my best work, but I guess in all fairness, I am pretty much out of material that I had for making these templates. So I had to stretch what I had. That's right, it'll work just fine. Doesn't have to be pretty, it just needs to be somewhat accurate. Now, when I'm actually transferring these templates over onto the OSB, because I'm gonna do a dry run with the OSB before I actually take it to Cusa, the thickness in both of those materials is going to be 1/2 inch thick. So when I'm transferring these templates over onto the OSB, at least initially, I'm going to oversize the length of each of these fingers by probably close to about 1/2 inch, give or take, on both sides. And the reason for that is, as you can see, the hull is tapered in. You know, it's coming down at an angle here, and these fingers are basically are touching onto the hull here at, well, it'll be roughly half the thickness of the actual finished flooring. So if I don't extend it out, and then I still have to undercut the underside of the OSB and the Cusa, that's going to leave my top shy by the edges by, again, I'm guessing here, but I'm guessing it's going to be at least 1/2 inch. Now, I don't necessarily want to have the flooring pushing tight onto the hull, but I do want a pretty good fit. If I can somehow get it to within, let's say, like an 1/8 inch or a 1/16 of an inch gap on the top, that would be ideal. For all you metric folks, I'm going to say that's what, 3 to 6 millimeters, give or take. So if you see me when I'm tracing this out oversizing it, well, that's why. All right, so what I'm trying to do here is just get a consistent curve. And on some of these areas, the batten here seems to land where it should, at least the way that it looks like it should. And on other areas, it doesn't. So I'm gonna run with this. I'm in line here where I need to be. The center looks to be pretty close, but as you get towards, what is it? 1, 2, third from the far end, then I've got, over an inch gap. But so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trace this out, and then I'm gonna come back and then offset it by a little bit. I can't find a way to maintain that, whatever, that 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch space that I had initially drawn on here. So we're gonna run with this. This is exactly why I am not doing my first round with Cusa. Something is gonna have to get tweaked. I will say, after having taken a spill last week when before the flooring got put in here, this is awesome. I love this, even if it is only temporary. Now, a couple things I want to kind of touch on here. Again, this is a temporary floor. This is not what's going to be used here when it's all said and done. This is just to give me a platform to start, taking some measurements and being able to do some additional work in here without having to worry at all about potentially damaging the Cusa once it's actually down here and in place. Now, I did a couple of things here on purpose. Now, if you're looking at the sides of the hull here, it's coming down at a little bit of a taper. Now, in order for these panels to sit flush or to sit down really where they need to live, I need to bevel each of these edges to roughly about a 45 degrees. By doing so, then these are going to drop right down in place. These are going to be making full contact with the top of the keel. Right now, I left everything squared. So each of these panels they're proud or raised up by about 1/8 of an inch, kind of all the way around. And the reason I left everything squared off is because it's just going to make it a lot easier to trace this out onto the Cusa. I don't have to try and account for or remember, that I've got that bevel here. And as far as the fit on here, this all looks really, really good. The seams are nice and tight. Everything just kind of lines up, drops in exactly where it's supposed to be. The lines are still running right down the center of the hull. So in that respect, I'm very, very happy with how everything is turning out so far. And when you're looking at this main seam right through here, so I had to split the port and the starboard side for the raft just so that I can get everything through the companionway. So I split the port and starboard aft half of the flooring in here, in half for that reason. Now this forward half, up in the V-berth here, this for the forward half of this is unsupported. The keel itself ends right about here, and then from here forward, it's just kind of free floating and relying on being wedged in or pinched in against the hull here. But as far as where this seam is, this is right where the bulkhead's going to be. So the bulkhead is going to be landing right on top of this seam. Now, when this is all in place with the Cusa, all of these seams are all going to be glassed over. So essentially, it's going to become one solid unified section of flooring, which is going to also add to the overall stiffness. But the seam itself, it's going to be hidden or buried right under the bulkhead, which is also still resting on top of the keel. So this is all coming together exactly as it should. And with that said, let's get these panels pulled out, set down on top of the Cusa, and get the good stuff cut out. Now, speaking of the Cusa, they make two different lines of panels. They have their Blue Water series, which is really designed for more structural type applications. And then they also make their Nautical series, which is non-structural type applications. And the main difference between the two, the Blue Water, being the structural panels, they have additional glass within the thickness of these panels. I think specifically what they have is some woven roving, and what that's going to do is that's going to make the panel extremely stiff and quite a bit stronger in comparison to their Nautical line. Now, not every application requires a structural panel, which is where the Nautical comes in. Now, for my application, at least for what I'm doing right here, these panels are going to be for the flooring, and then I also have some additional Blue Water panels that I'm going to be using for the bulkheads. And if you're curious, the density of the foam that I'm using here, these are Blue Water 20 panels, and then on the Nautical line, which I'm going to be using for like the bunks, cabinetry, that kind of thing, that's also a 20-pound density foam, but again, being the Nautical line, it's not going to be quite as stiff or quite as strong, but for non-structural applications, that is perfectly fine. Now, regardless whether it's going to be the blue water or the nautical line, working with this material is a piece of cake. Think of it as an easier version of plywood, basically. I mean, you can route it, you can go over this with a router, you can cut it, you can shape it, you can do anything that you need to do, except it does sand and shape easier compared to a plywood. Now, I do want to put a little bit of an asterisk on that. Because these panels have fiberglass running throughout the thickness of them, the blades that you use, whether you're routing them or shaping them or cutting them, the blades that you use makes a night and day difference. Fiberglass dulls blades like nobody's business. So when you're working with this material, it is money well spent to make sure that you are using carbide tipped blades. Now here on my jigsaw, I have an upcut carbide tipped blade. And this blade has been in this jigsaw for, well, I think since we moved here in Michigan, and that's coming up on 5 years now. This stuff has cut a lot of material, both plywood as well as Cusa, and just regular solid fiberglass panels. Carbide is one of those things, it is worth every penny. If you try and tackle this stuff, cutting Cusa specifically, with like a high-speed steel or something that's not carbide, you will go from a brand new blade to a butter knife in about 1 to 2 minutes. So again, the cost for carbide when you're working with this type of material, 100% it's worth every penny. All right, so where are things here? I've gotten, all the Cusa panels are cut. I dropped them in place temporarily just to see if they fit, and no surprise, they dropped right in. They're an exact copy of the OSB, so no real surprise. So I've got the Cusa panels cut. They're ready to start getting glassed. The boat's cleaned up. I'm not saying I have the shop in here cleaned up yet, but at this point, I think I'm going to be about ready to shift gears, start getting the flooring panels glassed over top and bottom, get those in place. Then I can start making the templates and the cuts for the bulkheads. Once the bulkheads are in place, then I've got some bones that I can start working on for the electrical, as well as figuring out what kind of space I'm going to have available for any of the built-ins, cabinetry, storage, the main salon area, all that kind of stuff. So for right now, especially given that it's Friday night, I think right here is going to be a good holding point, at least for this stage of the project. So I think I'm going to wrap things up right here. So as always, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found this interesting. And if you did, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Thank you in advance. I truly appreciate it. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to leave those down below. I will do my best to follow up to you. And as always, I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend. Remember to turn your clocks back, and I will see you next week.
This has been a Boatworks Today production.